Cruise calamity. I guess that is the theme for today's episode. We've got a Royal Caribbean cruise that has ended badly. We've got a cruise company canceling a cruise unexpectedly. And we have an upset passenger on Carnival saying Carnival needs to do something about this. But should they? Interesting story. All that and more on today's episode. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loco. Welcome to the cruise show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's everything going on in cruising. It's for your face on a Friday the 18th of July, 2025. And well, this is not an unfamiliar story that I'm going to share with you. It's happened 18 times this year. And we're talking about people getting sick on a cruise ship with gastrointestinal illness. This time, the illness has struck Navigator of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean cruise ship. 134 passengers coming down with gastrointestinal illness, 7 crew members. That's over 3% of the guest count. It triggered a CDC investigation. This happened on a recent cruise, and it's caused Royal Caribbean to kick into extra cleaning measures on Navigator of the Seas. They don't know for sure what's causing the gastrointestinal illness. And so really the only remedy is to go into deep clean mode. Like I said, we're seeing it more and more seemingly in 2025. We did have the CDC report earlier this year that there is a new strain of the norovirus that potentially could cause more problem on land and sea. And certainly that resulted in a bad ending to a cruise for over 134 passengers. I say it every time. One of the best ways to combat gastrointestinal illness is to make sure you wash your hands. And everybody has to do it, though. That's definitely a community effort. You got to have everybody washing their hands and practicing good hygiene on a cruise ship. And certainly if you've been on a cruise ship, you know that not everybody practices good hygiene. You ever use Google to try to locate somebody that you know? And all of a sudden in the Google results, you get all of these people search companies saying, hey, I got information about that person. It's because our data is out there on the internet, and we've got data brokers buying and selling our data, storing our data in data warehouses. I'm thankful for the sponsor of today's episode, Incogn, because Incogn helps get that data off of the internet. I mean, we put the data out there when we agree to, use a service, something like that. But we also have the right to get that data removed from the data warehouses and taken away from the data brokers. But who are they? I don't know, but Incogn does. That's why I like Incogn. It's a very simple process. Sign up with Incogn, authorize Incogn to work on your behalf, and then you kind of just sit back as they make all of these requests to data brokers and data warehouses to get your data removed. I've been using Incogn for quite a while now, and to date I've had 293 requests for data removal for my information, and 253 of those have been completed. So a lot less of my data is out there on the internet than there used to be. This is helpful when it comes to spam texts, spam emails, and again, people just buying and selling your data. And look, you can try Incogn for yourself at a discounted rate. Click the QR code that's on the screen or go to www.incogn.com/La Lido Loca. Use the code La Lido Loca at that link to save 60% off of your annual Incogn plan. Get your data off the internet. Thank you, Incogn, for sponsoring today's episode. All right, let's talk about the cruise line that has canceled a cruise unexpectedly. The cruise in question is an open jaw itinerary for the Disney Magic, scheduled to leave from San Diego on April the 19th, 2026. Open jaw, this is interesting. I had to look it up. Essentially, it's just a cruise that starts in one destination and ends in another, opposed to a closed loop where it starts in one place and returns to that place. Open jaw itinerary, 4 days at sea. Basically a repositioning from San Diego to Vancouver so that the Disney Magic could enter dry dock after that April the 19th cruise. Well, that cruise has been canceled. Cancellated. Guests notified that they no longer have a cruise, given a 100% full refund, a 20% future cruise credit. and the dry dock has been changed. It's been rescheduled. They're going to do 3 more cruises now from San Diego on the Disney Magic in April, and then it will reposition from San Diego to Vancouver, and there will be some sort of dry dock when it goes north, some dry dock at a different time before kicking off their summer Alaskan season. Yeah, it's part and parcel with cruising. Things change, changes. Shout out Ludacris. Yeah, were you on the Disney Magic? Have you been canceled? Leave a comment below. Okay, can we leave the calamity behind for a few moments? I'll share the customer complaint, the angry Carnival cruiser complaint toward the end. Let's put some positive stories in the middle of the show. How about that? Holland America brings back the behind-the-scenes ship tour. I like this. These ship tours can be a fantastic way to see the inner operations of a cruise ship. And Holland America, their tour will include a visit to the bridge, to the galley, and to the engine control room. I did the engine control room on Margaritaville at Sea Islander. That's the first time I've ever seen that on a behind-the-scenes tour. It was fascinating. So bridge, galley, engine control room, the recycling center, the main laundry, that would be a cool one to see. And also you get to meet the crew members that are running these facilities as you go along. It's a pretty cool thing. So it's $179. You book it as an excursion on the cruise ship. And not only do you get access to those places that you normally wouldn't, but you also receive a lanyard, a souvenir photo, and a commemorative certificate. Things are better with a commemorative certificate. It'd be cool if I could issue a commemorative certificate to everybody that watches the show. I don't think I could do that. But also there's a chance that the captain or the bridge officer or the first engineer, some of the big executive chefs, some of the hubbub on a cruise ship might make an appearance on this tour. And I think this is the kind of thing that most people love. Have you ever been on a behind-the-scenes tour on a cruise ship? Do you love it? Or not? I tell you what, I was just on the Royal Princess, and Princess does a really interesting behind-the-scenes thing. Most of the time on the last day of the cruise, they'll do a culinary demonstration, and the culinary demonstration also includes a galley tour. And this is just a real simple run, hundreds of people through a portion of the kitchen on the cruise ship. But that's pretty neat too. That doesn't usually cost money, but it sounds like for this $179, you get a lot of access. Would you do it? Would you do it? Let me know below. Now, you can bet that this next story will perk up the ears of, casino players. Carnival Corporation joins the American Gaming Association. The American Gaming Association, the AGA, is the leading trade group in the U.S. when it comes to casino gaming. It represents the U.S. casino industry. Carnival's participation in the AGA will really kind of build a synergistic learning relationship between the cruise industry and the gaming industry represented by the AGA. It will help them when it comes to, determining policy, help them when it comes to understanding the new gaming regulations that were coming out. It should help with responsible gaming. So this is a first of its kind in the cruise industry, and it will be interesting to see what this association with the AGA does for gaming on Carnival cruises. And continuing with the betting motif, Carnival is betting that one of their popular cruise ports can handle another cruise ship. Big announcement coming out that starting in May of 2027, Carnival will be home porting 2 cruise ships in the Big Easy, in New Orleans, in New Orleans. Carnival has announced that the Carnival Dream will start doing sailings in New Orleans again starting in May of 2027. This will be the only cruise line to have 2 ships in New Orleans. It is funny, isn't that what business is? Just a series of calculated bets. It's pretty wild though if you think about what's going on the Gulf Coast. More deployments in Galveston, longer commitment to Mobile, Alabama, another ship in New Orleans, not just from Carnival, but all of the cruise lines hedging their Florida bets with a whole bunch of deployments along the Gulf Coast. I've only cruised out of New Orleans one time, and honestly, I should do it again. I don't think I got the full New Orleans experience, but New Orleans is one of those cities that I get a little afraid in. Not because of the wild crowds or the big, rats that I saw on the street, but really, I'm always concerned in New Orleans about the vampire Lestat. Shout out J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling. All right, now I got to tell you about somebody who's saying Carnival should do something about this. I'll share the story and the picture with you, and let's see if we agree. Here's the picture. This came from a Carnival social media group, a group of Carnival enthusiasts. I guess is a scorpion. I don't know. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. That kind of scorpion, not that kind of scorpion. Here, a scorpion with the caption, "This came crawling out our bag after getting back on the ship from Cabo. I usually don't complain." No, I usually don't complain, but this is completely on Carnival. They need to do something about this. We booked our excursion through Carnival, so ridiculous. So I've been trying to unpack this bag story. Are they saying that they came back to their cabin and this came crawling out of one of their bags that was in their cabin? That's one scenario. That would be suggesting that, when they gave their luggage to the porter and, somehow over that time, a scorpion had, infiltrated the bag. And then when it came onto the cruise ship, then the scorpion came out of one of their bags that was handled completely by the porters and then by Carnival. Maybe you go, oh, how did a scorpion get in my bag? But if these people are saying they went out to Cabo San Lucas and they bought something and now they carried a bag back onto the cruise ship, and out of that bag that they purchased in Cabo San Lucas, crawled a scorpion, and that's Carnival's fault. Well, that, my friends, is a bridge too far. That would be ridiculous. I hope it's the first scenario. I guess they could be saying that I bought something in Cabo San Lucas. I had a bag. I had to give you the bag to scan it through security, and you should have found the scorpion. Is that what they're saying? Immediately I think, what's the compensation? What's the compensation for a scorpion crawling out of your bag? Is Carnival in the wrong here? Do they owe this person anything? Or is this just a bunch of hullabaloo? That's the question. Look, that's everything that's going on in cruising. Thanks again to Incogn for sponsoring today's episode. And now there's really nothing left to do. Nothing left to do but dance. Get up. We'll see you on the Lido.